Hello, everybody, and welcome to tonight's episode of Netherwar. Tonight's episode is titled A Glimpse of Things to Come. Oh, there's a hype train incoming. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm like, did you do that?
I did not do that. Twitch is doing that. Twitch is going rogue, everybody. Oh, if everybody wants to sub, gift, or use bits, we can get to the next level. I don't know what it means, but I'm hyped.
Yeah, how do you do that?
I don't know. I'll gift a sub to the cause. Let's do it. Yeah, here we go. Here's a free sub to some lucky soul. Alright, so tonight, once again, we will be doing Episode 6 of Netherwar, A Glimpse of Things to Come. Thank you for joining us as we continue Green Ronin's Mega Crisis event. My name is Alex, and I will be your humble game master for this series. Tonight, we will be playing Mutants and Masterminds 3rd Edition, published by Green Ronin Publishing. This is the world's greatest superhero RPG. It is a D20 system with serious emphasis on cinematic superhero action. Players can create any hero they can imagine using its legendary character creation system. They can also use hero points to push their powers and the scene beyond its limits. These points are earned by leaning into the superhero genre, acting heroically, good role-playing, jokes I think are funny, suffering setbacks just like other superheroes and other media, and anybody who subs or gifts bits can also donate us a hero point to, the hero of their choice. We have gathered some amazing heroes tonight. Say Guten Tag, heroes.
Guten Tag,
heroes.
We do have our special guest, Kat, rejoining us tonight. You might recognize her from our ETU game or our Fallout game.
Thank you for the sub, Jupe.
Oh yeah, thank you so much, Jupe. We hit level 2 on the hype train.
Oh.
And Centuria got some moral support, so she'll get a +2 on her first roll of the game. So, thank you for coming to reprise the role of Centuria. Kat, thank you once again. I bribed her with cake this week.
And I thought that was last week's bribe.
That was
just
last
happens
week's
to arrive
bribe.
this week's.
He never did it last week.
Look, okay, I Uber Eats cake over there today, so the cake is not a lie. It's a true cake.
It is on the way.
It is on the way.
I think it could be like a Saigon Kick song. Cake is alright. No, that's not good.
Oh my god, Will, you just gifted 5 subs? That's so amazing.
Oh my god!
I don't know what it means, but we're so hyped up right now. Look at all the Y's and E's in the hype. Wow, level 2 complete. This is gonna be the game tonight. We're just gonna
watch it.
keep pumping the hype thing. I do want to give everybody a chance to introduce themselves, tell us a little bit about the character they will be playing, and where else we can find them. Starting with Kevin.
Okay, well, I'm usually just here when I'm online. Guiding those future citizens in the classroom in 7th grade. And try to keep them from climbing the walls, because this quarantine stuff is crazy. I'm usually here for the Heroes Unlimited. Yeah, the Heroes Inc. or the Freedom City or the Titan City. I am so screwed up right now. I'm gonna hydrate, and I'm gonna pass the mic over to Jonesy because I'm done.
You didn't tell anyone who you're playing.
Everyone knows that I'm Overdrive. Just kidding. I'm Overdrive. I'm the speedy guy who gets into trouble and then runs around a lot.
Just for that, we're gonna call you Over Dave all night.
Oh, it hurts. Right in the soul.
Right in the Dave.
Oh, right in the Dave.
Hi, everybody. I am Jonesy. I will be playing Mortis, the living ghost, sort of. Gateway to the underworld and Metalhead. I can be found here on Monday nights playing Netherwar and Mutants Masterminds. I can be found here Tuesday nights running Born of Rage, our World of the Apocalypse game. And other than that, I'm on Twitter and all that social media and stuff. But other than that, when I'm not doing streams, I'm doing stuff to make streams happen. As part of the VTT team for Green Running.
Beautiful. Kat?
I'm Kat. I'm playing Centuria, daughter of Centurion, I believe is his name. You can catch me here, specifically today, but not usually on Mondays, and then on Wasteland Wednesdays as Ember. Other than that, I don't really have anything else to say except for Happy International Women's Day to all women out there. Not that I'm playing with any of them today, but... and then I'm going to pass it to Andy.
Alright, so I'm Andy. I'm one of the behind-the-scenes people here with the USP. You can find me here for Superhero Mondays. I am playing Resonant, as usual, for our Netherwar series. You can also find me over on our YouTube channel for our Storyforge project, which we will be having new episodes up sooner rather than later. They are coming. We are in the process of getting them all edited and ready for you guys to consume. So be on the lookout for those.
Awesome. And I'm Alex. I mostly hang out here at the Untold Stories project. I'm also the author of the Titan City Chronicles, which is a fantasy noir superhero novel set in the 1930s. And yeah, Kat, I completely forgot that it was International Women's Day today, so please forgive me for that. Happy International Women's Day to everybody out there. I really, really... Oh, I wish we could see a lot more of you out here hanging out with us tonight. As for moral support, looks like Resonant is getting some moral support, and Overdave is getting some moral support, so everybody's going to have... Everybody's getting benefits to
Mortis
their
got
first
one
roll.
too.
Oh, Mortis got one too? Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. So everybody's stacking the deck with the... everybody's stacking the deck with moral support, and Will gave 1 hero point to everybody, and the extra one he did not give to me. He gave to Kat.
Nice.
Women!
Since you were a pig and forgot Women's Day.
Oh,
That's true. I am part of the problem. We all could have been... No, it's okay, Will. It's fine. It's fine.
No, you can't take my extra point away. Oh, he's...
Oh.
I was about to say. I was like, no.
Ooh, we received a level 2 hype train emote.
What does that mean?
I have no idea. This is what it looks like, though. Choo choo.
Oh my gosh, that's terrifying.
That is terrifying. What the?
Ranger. Love it.
So, we're having way too much fun here tonight. Way too much fun. We haven't even started punching my bad guys yet.
I know.
Wait, we'll get to that too.
Just you all watch. I'll have my revenge. Anyway, so without further ado, I think we can go ahead and get started. Last time on Netherwar, we rejoined our heroes after a 10-year break. Each of them were living a life, full-on life after the events of Seven's death and Una's invasion of Earth Prime. Gemma was running a bookshop / Reiki healing joint. Derek had become a school janitor, and Dave was trying to get a job with New Horizon after a superheroic stint on the West Coast. Throughout their morning, each hero received a cryptic warning from Seven, a message telling them the Nerian Nexus was in danger. The gang all reunited, and along with Freedom Leaguer Centuria, responded to the warning. They found a full-on supervillain battle waging in the streets outside the Nexus, with Sandstone, the Devil's Advocates, and Abracadaver squabbling over who got to enter next. After defeating this sinister group, the gang entered the old house. Inside, they met its caretaker Sala and got lost in the building's library. The library really just wanted somebody to spend some time studying in it. Once they did so, the gang found their way into a museum of sorts, where they faced off against Dracula, King of the Vampires, and Devil Ray. We rejoined them, fresh from their victory over these ne'er-do-wells. And Jupe, we definitely want you to tell Godless Lawyer that we hope he is doing well, and we miss his face. And his puns.
Definitely his puns.
So you all find yourself standing in this sort of museum after it had been flooded by Devil Ray, with an unconscious Devil Ray and a pile of dust that was once the king of the vampires.
Well, that's one way to deal with him. Gemma is gonna kind of wring out her sleeves and just kind of like, I wish I had a hairdryer.
I will create fan jets to dry her hair.
I,
Everybody loves
was-
the Wimbledon look. It's all good.
Thanks, Dave. It was more for the clothes than the hair, but the thought is appreciated.
Everybody knows the leaf blower is the best cast member on the Flash TV show.
The heck
Good
is
job,
going?
team. Are we ready to move on?
I think so.
I'm just wondering what the heck is going on. Why are all of these magically inclined supervillains attacking the Nexus now? I mean, Aldrich has been gone for longer than Seven has, and this place was laid abandoned. Well, not abandoned. Sala's been here, but no one's been in control of this place for the last 10 years. What's changed?
I don't know that my character would really have the wherewithal to understand that, but these bad guys that were all here, were they all magic users of some type?
Everything that I've got, I mean, Dracula. The Devil's Advocates, I got a strong magical aura from them. Abracadaver, names in
Yeah.
names in the title.
What about Devil Ray? I mean, okay, he's got devil name, but I didn't think he had any supernatural.
He had that totem, that weird thing that he held up over his head.
He's still
I
here if
mean-
you want to ask him.
He's
Yeah.
like, yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm not used to the bad guys being around after Cat gets through with them.
I mean, one of them's not, so
That's
I
true.
mean,
That's true.
it's fair.
It's a strange, a strange place to be. Like there's a survivor.
Well, with that in mind, can I go ahead and make a expertise magic check to see if Devil Ray has anything magic or if there is an aura emanating from him?
Yeah, please go ahead.
All right. Do. There we go. Wow, I don't think I need the +2 that I get on my first roll because that was a natural 20, which gives me a 35.
It's gonna be that kind of game.
It's gonna be that kind of game.
Yeah.
His favorite color is purple. He likes moonlight walks on the beach.
Awesome. So, Resonant, you sort of like trying to get a feel for the magical aura that's permeating Devil Ray specifically. Reaching out to detect magic through the Neurian Nexus is difficult typically, but you just got a natural 20, so you sort of cut out the white noise of the house around you, and you narrow in on the aura that Devil Ray is projecting. And he does have a magical aura. It seems muted. It seems to be, especially in the presence of this idol, it's a little hard to pick up on, but his whole being is sort of permeated with like great old one magic. You get this sensation of ancient, unknowable cyclopean magic.
Ugh. And so Gemma's gonna kind of shudder a little bit and reach back. Yeah. There's definitely magic there. That's nasty, bad magic that I don't wanna. I'm not delving into. I'm just gonna leave it alone.
Well, maybe something magical's happening. Like, I don't know. Is there like a calendar? Like they have like a Happy Festivus or something every 10 years? Like, I don't know.
Here comes the Santa Claus parade.
I'll look at Derek. Do you remember anything? Because honestly, this seems out of the ordinary, even for Freedom City.
Off the top of my head, I don't think so, but I mean, it could be something to do with how long the place has been, abandoned.
Minus the master mage.
I mean, you know, it may be time locked, or it may be the Nexus itself trying to reach out for a new master.
That's creepy.
Would an occult check clue me in if I'm way off base there, Alex?
Yeah, go ahead. Please make one for me. So with a 22 on your expertise occult, you're sort of racking your brain over what could possibly be. And both of those scenarios seem realistic to you. The idea that maybe the wards are finally starting to degrade enough after a decade of not being upkept. But the idea of the house looking for a new master is also very appealing to you. Everything you know about this house, even as you're sort of opening yourself up to that idea, you can feel the energy in this room become almost hungry. You get the sensation that the house seems to be agreeing with you about that.
Okay. So I'll turn to Centuria. Sorry, I didn't mean to keep us from getting after the bad guys. I just wanted to figure out why exactly things were happening today, of all days. So, please, let's go further into the crazy mystic house that apparently drew a bunch of superpowered magical baddies to itself.
Are you sure you want to go on?
No, but I'm here and I should help.
I appreciate the effort that you're putting in.
Thanks.
And you too as well. I appreciate the effort that you're putting in. It's not required of you, and you're doing a lot, so thank you. And then she'll turn and walk further deeper into the house.
Excellent. I will give Andy one additional piece of information. Since you got a natural 20. The idol that he is trying to steal, you pick up and you're pretty well. You as you're sort of reaching through the magical auras of everything around you, you get the impression that this idol halts mutation or halts transformation. To use a magical
transformation. Term. Interesting. Devilware is wearing a helmet, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can I unclick and lift it off his head, Darth Vader style?
Yeah.
Leave the poor deep one alone.
Oh yeah, I got that. Yeah, that doesn't. It's gonna be bad.
Yeah. So you sort of click the buttons on either side, and steam hisses out, and you see the mechanism sort of unlatching itself. And you lift up. And sure enough, the man underneath here is definitely in the midst of some kind of horrific transformation. There are, bits of his flesh that have been sort of stretched and distorted as he's starting to grow these long, fish-like teeth. You see his eyes have grown a little larger than they should be. And the eye whites have been replaced with black, and it's all sort of one nebulous void. And he does have sort of these slimy green scales along a lot of his body.
Okay. Maybe we leave him with that just to keep him from going any further along this process. But, where he can be doing no harm. Can we do that? Is that okay, guys?
I'm gonna defer to you on this because that's outside my wheelhouse right there.
Okay with me.
Okay, so we'll leave the idol near him, but like where he can't take it and keep him. Can I just encase him in ice so we can't leave him anytime soon? Cool. And then we'll follow Centuria.
Perfect. So Centuria, you begin leading the way deeper into the house, and you guys move for quite some time. You were able to study in the library just a little bit, so you've got some notion of how the house sort of works and how you're able to get through and move. But it's still it's still strange. You turn a corner, and it's this sort of long mirror-lined hallway. And as your gaze reaches the end of this hallway, it's almost too subtle to notice, but the details of the hallway drift into simpler and simpler, almost abstract forms until only the mirrors remain, held motionless in a white void. They still form a corridor, but everything else, the walls, the floor, the ceiling, seem entirely absent, as far ahead and behind as the eye can see.
That's not good.
It's a little hard on the eyes, actually.
Yeah. So I could just keep continuing forward, right?
Yeah, you can go forward,
gonna
you can go
keep going.
backward, you can go up, to the side.
Are you guys okay if we keep going forward?
I think it's the only way we're getting through. If we stop, we could just end up lost, right?
Yes.
Well, we have to focus on the Atlas. That was what we were told.
Yep.
Right. Like what we think is what kind of shapes what's going on here. Yeah.
Yep.
Somebody was daydreaming. That's the problem.
Ah. Oh, crap.
Dave.
I'm in trouble. I'm sorry. Can't help it.
Yeah, we know your mind races a mile a minute, which is thousands of miles less than your feet.
Yes. That's extra bad. Yeah. See, you get me. That's good. That's good.
Even after 7 years, yes, Dave, I do.
Alright, well, off we go.
Yes. Focusing
Wait,
on the
what is
Atlas.
up? You said we could go up. When I look up, what's up?
When you look up, you see just white void as far as you can see.
Oh, okay, yeah, then I'm just gonna keep walking.
We've wandered straight off the panel and into the gutters in between.
Y'all better be careful, you're gonna wind up on the editor's floor.
I was gonna say, did we forget to pay the artist or the inker for this part?
How many of you are there? 4? That's
Yes.
right, 4.
The colorist.
Hmm.
I know I have a D4 in here.
No.
Ow, that one's sharp.
Deep.
Ow. Yep, I found the D4.
Out in the caltrop.
He takes 1d4 damage.
I'm a commoner. I've only got 2 hit points. I can't be doing that.
Oh no, that's what you get for playing a wizard and not bumping your con.
I wanted to be a bard. It just didn't work out. Okay. So, over Dave.
Oh.
Makes sense. That,
I'm not sure if he's sighing because of what you called him or because he's going first.
Maybe
Both.
both.
Both. Both is good.
Yes.
no los dos. So Dave, as you're sort of walking, what's the marching order? I guess I want to establish that.
Centuria is first.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is she though? Because Dave could be first at any moment.
Right, but I tend to like to be able to race ahead once, but he's been kind of following Centuria's lead until there's something to scout out, and then he darts out. So Overdrive would probably be second.
Perfect.
I figured Gemma's probably taking up the rear.
Awesome. So everybody
Leaving Mortis in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
stuck in the
Good
middle
enough for
again.
Malcolm. Going back to that song.
So yeah, Dave, as you're sort of moving along, one of the mirrors catches your attention, and for a
Oh, I
brief
see.
second, you feel the sort of pulling sensation, and you are separated from the group.
Hey. I
Everybody
saw
else, you see Dave just sort of blip out of existence.
This is just like that Nightmare on Elm Street movie. Oh, man.
And Dave, as you're sort of catching your bearings, you can feel motion. And you see, just very briefly, you're sort of moving down a Freedom City street. and you see your mother up on the corner of that street.
Okay.
Looks like she's waiting for a bus or something, and this
Hmm.
black streak gets a hold of her and takes off.
No! I set off in pursuit as fast as I possibly can.
Please give me a speed test.
Nah. I was hoping you were gonna say something like that. Speed. Oh yeah, I guess I need to D20 that, don't I? With the dice roller.
Yep.
I have a speed thing built in.
Eventually, Alex, the GM, will remember to input that on your character sheet.
Or maybe someday I'll figure out how to work the character sheet. One never knows.
You're at my whims.
Ah! A 25.
So you're actually keeping pretty good pace with this this black streak. Both of you are sort of racing through, and as you cross this barrier of speed, you pass out of the physical world, and both of you have run into this sort of interstitial space. You sort of see this glowing golden aura that goes like a wind tunnel straight back. And you're running after, you can see in slow motion that your father has a hold of your mother. And he's looking over his shoulder every now and then to make sure you're keeping pace, as the two of you are going faster and faster and faster. And you're not sure how you know this, but as you're both sort of barreling forward, you get the sensation that there's a name to this place, and there's a connection between you and it. It's called the Wellspring of Velocity. And as you're running and as your father Death Race is rushing ahead of you, the golden light around you is turning black. And you feel oblivion behind you. As you both are racing, it seems like you may be destroying everything that you're passing across. That blackness is following you, and purple lightning is shooting out in arcs away from you as the color in your costume drains from orange to black. And then both of you sort of hit this wall at the end of the universe, and you both stop. Neither of you can move. What would you like to do?
Crap my pants. No. So this blackness that's spreading through this what of velocity?
The Wellspring of Velocity.
Wellspring. I'm like, there was a W. If I feel connected to it, this is probably a bad idea, but can I try to draw it into myself to like basically uproot it from the wellspring, or is that?
You could definitely give it a shot.
Okay, I will do that.
This is the moment in an M&M game when the GM is like, how do you make him break one of the fundamental laws of reality?
Indeed.
Go ahead and make another speed check for me.
Oh, I was hoping you were going to say that.
It's on your sheet, by the way.
Yes, I saw it was added to my sheet, but now my sheet's not loading. Did I lose control of my sheet?
You've lost control of your speed.
No!
It was consumed by some sort of force.
Yeah, my sheet's coming up blank.
What happens when you close it and reopen it?
Ah, there we go.
If you tried restarting it.
These high-tech solutions, I just don't know how to deal with it.
Unplug it and plug it back in.
Turn it off, turn it back on.
And the speed says... Really?
Yeah, you got 25.
25.
5 again?
Mm-hmm.
I'm in a rut.
25 is a good rut to be in.
I guess it is.
So you begin focusing. Tell me, sort of how that works. Sort of how that, what does this comic book panel look like?
Okay, so, I mean, he's done the unsympathetic vibrations to sort of destabilize opponents, so it's almost like a reverse of that. It's like he's syncing up with the substrata of this reality and sort of trying to draw this blackness out like a poison, which of course is poisoning him. So, like, the veins are popping, and eyes are bulging, and he's probably sweating a bit and trying not to scream with the strain, but sort of just drawing it all into himself to keep it from destroying the wellspring. And who knows? He's probably getting a little wobbly in the knees, but good thing he's hit that wall that doesn't let him move, so he won't fall down.
Awesome. So yeah, you begin warping and sort of drawing energy from the wellspring itself. And that's when things go out of control. You're sort of absorbing all of this, and an aura crosses over you that you recognized when Seven revealed herself as the Master Mage to Kaysen back in the Netherworld. And there's this sort of iridescent aura that passes over you for just a moment before it is absorbed out of you and into your father. And time sort of warps and distends around both of you as you're both sort of amping up and ramping up your speed, and time is just moving out of control. You see your mother age to dust before you as both of you are vibrating at this frequency before Death Race rushes up to you, grabs a hold of you by both ends of your face, and just absorbs all the youth, vigor, and kinetic energy out of you.
That's not cool, Bob.
And then you wake up in the hallway with the mirrors.
Where's the rest of them?
It's funny you should mention that. The rest of them are also not in the hallway.
Oh.
I'm going to deal everybody a handy-dandy hero point.
Add my 3 that I got in the chat.
Yeah, now you've got 4 hero points total.
Yeah.
As a reminder, hero points don't go away. So
Wait, shouldn't I have
points.
5?
Maybe. Everybody started with 1. Everybody else I have at 3.
And Will gave me.
Yeah, I think 4 is correct. I think. I'm not positive.
You got moral support, not a hero point.
That's right.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, everybody got moral support and a hero point. And then Kat got a second hero point.
Yep.
And we all just got 1 from the GM. So yes, 4 is correct.
Okay.
Indeed.
So next we
plus
sort
1
of
plus 2 plus 1.
I don't
I'm
have
no
enough figures.
mathlete, but I'm pretty sure I could add that up.
Centuria. As you were sort of reacting and trying to catch a hold of where Dave went, your gaze caught a mirror, and you sort of felt that same sensation of being pulled forward. And you're floating in this massive field of stars, somewhere in deep space. You're not 100% sure where. You're sort of looking around. There's no planetary masses nearby. Just the unending majesty of the universe before you. And as you look out the twinkling billions and billions of stars, you see there's a thin point of black in the center. You think at the far end of the universe from where you are right now. And that cone of darkness begins to expand as stars begin to blink out of existence in front of you. Thousands of them at a time disintegrating in this unending wave of darkness. Please give me a perception check.
26.
Awesome. You see in the very center of that growing mass of dark, there is a Will just redeemed a GM pro tip, which I will give in just a moment. You see in the very center of this black expanse that's growing by the second and dominating and exploding stars between you and here. There's an omega symbol, glowing in orange. And you get the sensation as this dark energy rushes over you. This cold chill in your body. And you can hear the engines of destruction moving this way across the vacuum of space. More stars begin to go out, and you engage in battle as Terminus soldiers begin to basically reach where you are. What would you like to do?
Well, so it's still advancing on me, even though things are trying to fight me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Can I try to fly away away from it, or since there's like no gravity, can I not fly?
Yeah, you can try to fly away from it. You can fly in space.
I'm gonna try to fly away from the giant blackness.
Cool.
'Cause I don't want to die.
Let me check your fly speed. Because I think Andy was the one who was nice enough to put your sheet in. Yeah,
You're
flight
welcome.
12. So I'm gonna add in a flight check for you, the way that Andy added a flight check for, or a speed check for overdrive. And that should be on there now. Yeah, you got a 19 on your fly check. So you turn and you sort of go jetting off in the opposite direction of the, basically unending wave of Terminus soldiers that are following you. You're flying and flying and flying, but you're not quite gaining any distance from them. They seem to be speeding up and catching up to you. As you fly by, you do see the Freedom League rush past you. Your friends Daedalus and you see a spaceship carrying like the likes of Bowman and Dr. Metropolis and all that. They seem to be rushing to try to do something, anything that they can to put an end to this unending flood. And looking over your shoulder as you're sort of panicking and flying the other direction, you could see them falling. And in the, as they're sort of engaging with these soldiers, you see Omega himself sort of emerge from the darkness. But instead of the sort of atomic orange that you're used to seeing emanating from him, there's this strange violet magic that's coursing through his armor. You're not sure how you know it, but you know it's magic.
I'm gonna stop and fly and try to fly at him to fight him.
Awesome. Go ahead and give me an unarmed check. 14. Okay. So you swoop in and you throw a good punch. Bam! It slams into the dome around his face, and you feel the shockwave pass through the universe around you. But there's no effect. And he grabs you by both of your wrists, and you look down, and that's when you realize that you aren't Centuria, you're Nova. And you get this sort of sick feeling in your stomach. And you wake up as Centuria, back in the White Void hallway, next to Overdave. And
Oh, hey.
You're back. You don't know how you know this, but somehow in your bones you know that this is happening now. The League is thousands of light years away, and they are in trouble. So, before I move on to the next hero, Will in chat says, Alex, what do you do when everyone has so many hero points? Add more enemies to the combats to come? Well, that is an option. One of the other things that I like to do when everybody has so many hero points is come up with situations that will require them to stretch their powers a little bit, so that they feel like their problems could be solved by the use of a clever power stunt, or ask the Roll20 algorithm really, really hard to make them roll low, so they want to spend it to reroll. That one's out of my control, but I do, I beseech the Roll20 gods about that.
Billy, just add players like me who always roll low to your group, and you'll never have this problem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the important thing, to know on a Mutants and Masterminds sort of basis is that hero points aren't game breaking. They just give the heroes the opportunity to do really cool stuff, and when the heroes do really cool stuff, everybody benefits. Like, I get excited when the heroes do cool things.
Yeah.
And the challenge, getting a stray reroll or getting a stray scene edit isn't generally going to be enough to destabilize the challenge of a combat encounter. And if it does, it's something that the GM should be able to think on their feet and say, okay, so this is going to be a little harder for my villains. What weird ways can I augment their abilities? Because at the end of the day, the GM has unlimited hero points that they can spend. With GM Fiat, they can give a hero point right back to the hero and say, hey, my villain does this instead. So
Yeah, I agree with you. I think the only real danger is an out of control scene edit. Like as the GM, you can't let them do anything with the scene edit. Like it has to be reasonable. That's the only thing I've ever seen where it's kind of that gray area.
yeah, and at the end of the day, that is at GM discretion. So if somebody proposes something that's crazy, like, oh, I happen to have like a kryptonite spear hidden in that warehouse over there that I'm going to use. The GM could say, no, that's not okay.
Yeah.
Or, I'm going to remind him that my mom is named Martha too. We probably shouldn't fight anymore. Yeah, the GM could say, no, that's not going to happen. What I'm trying to say is that Warner Brothers should have had a GM on the set of Batman vs. Superman.
What nonsense is this?
Okay, so I've got 2 heroes left who are sort of fading. Okay, we will go with Derek next. Derek, you are sitting in this sort of dark, swirling void. You've been here before. You recognize this is the underworld, and is the underworld by way of the Soul Vault. So you've been doing some internal, thinking, some internal development and focus and meditation, and you sink down into Hades specifically. You're kind of looking around, and you realize that you're sitting in Hades' war room. So Hades is there in his black armor, and he is leaning over this map of the local area. You're sort of floating over, looking at it. He doesn't seem to be aware of your presence. What would you like to do?
I'd like to get a better look at what he's looking at.
Awesome. Please give me an expertise occult check.
I'm going to guess that he's... okay. I was going to guess he's looking at a map of Freedom City. Plotting an invasion. But... expertise, occult, you said, or magic?
Occult, please.
And that's an 11, boys and girls.
There go those hero points.
That's it.
That is up to you, Mortis, if you want to spend a hero point to reroll.
I do. I do.
Give them to me. Give them all to me.
I've rolled even worse.
Don't you have a +7 in that? How did you get a 7?
I have a +5 in occult.
Oh, okay. So you got a 17 total, which is better than an 11. As you're sort of reviewing this map, it is not a map of Freedom City. You're sort of looking at it, and cosmologically it appears to be almost like an interdimensional map of the various underworlds. You can see Hell, you can see the other Hell, you can see Hades, Tartarus,
Middle school.
dental school, purgatory. You see all sorts of different underworlds, and you see that each of them in succession, some of them have been marked with a sort of red fiery X, and throughout you see this doesn't appear to be an invasion map. This appears to be a defense map. You see he's sort of taking stock of how many soldiers each god of the underworld is willing to commit to the defense. You see, some undead Vikings from Hela. You find some demonic soldiers from Satan. All sorts of just various forces in array. And Hades looks exhausted. And one skeleton from the Netherworld.
Stop with that skeleton.
It's been 10 years. He's now a general.
Oh no, he leveled up. We are doomed.
Yeah. No. Am I insubstantial, or am I just?
You're not 100% sure. You sort of look down and you don't see a body at all. Which usually when you're invisible, you can still see your body. You almost feel like a presence in the room, like a ghost yourself.
Do I see the vault anywhere?
You do not.
Or do I feel a pull to the vault?
Strangely, you do not.
I'm gonna try talking to him. Lord Hades?
What is it, ferryman?
What is... Who is attacking? What is assaulting the underworld?
He'll be here soon enough. And he kind of locks eyes with you, and you see he's weary. And he says, we're the next on the list.
Where's the vault?
He's bringing it with him. I assume. You should flee. You hear they're still safe in paradise. Maybe you can get some relax in Elysium until he makes his way there.
We can't let him proceed any further. We must... The final stand must be now. We must defeat whoever this is.
You're a good soldier, ferryman. Sit with me for a while.
You don't know who I am, do you?
Of course I know who you are. And he kind of looks at you and smiles. Charon, you've been here for so long.
I'm Mortis.
It's a good joke. And as you sort of speak the name Mortis into being, you do feel a shaking in the room. And you hear screams and baleful cries coming from beyond the chamber that you are standing in.
I'm heading straight for it.
Good luck. Pick somewhere to die that is most pleasing to you. And Hades sort of goes to his throne and sits for a moment. And Mortis, as you go barreling out of the room and into the underworld, you can feel more of the earth shaking and more explosions. You can smell fire ahead of you. And beyond, you're sort of breaking through, and you see the walls of the underworld, the walls of Hades, begin to break and crack open, and Cerberus emerges through the breach. But you see that Cerberus, all three of his heads have this sort of ethereal green-purple leash around them. And at his feet is an army of angry spirits washing through the underworld in basically a green wave of death and devastation. There's a lot of Return of the King happening down there.
Who's a good boy? I'm gonna barrel on to see who I can see who's leading the charge.
Awesome. So Derek, as you rush forward, you see the chains are being held in the hand of Mortis. But you seem to be shrouded in this iridescent aura, similar to what Seven had when she exposed herself to Kaysen back in Netherwar. But there is a blackness that sort of statics into the rainbow glow around you. And you see the soul vault is full on open, and as the undead soldiers grab and destroy other evil souls, new souls emerge from inside Mortis to add to this sort of eternal army that's emerging from the vault.
Who the hell has my body? Um. Yeah, I'm booking it straight for me because I'm a little pissed that someone's joyriding in my body.
Perfect. You rush up, and in a fashion that you've seen ghosts do, you sort of fly up, and you go to enter into your own body and try to kick out whoever is possessing you or whoever has ejected you from it, and you hear this voice in your head that says, "Not today. I'm still having my fun." And you are sort of pushed away from yourself and through a mirror and back out into the hallway with everybody else. Except for Gemma.
Oh no.
Oh yes.
So Gemma, you are back in Lafandi. You don't remember the last time you've been here. Can you tell us a little bit about what Lafandi is like?
So Lafandi is a very verdant dimension, world, if you want to get technical, I suppose. There's a lot of green rolling hills, a lot of tree copses, and just rivers kind of just flowing everywhere. There's also a lot of crystal formations that just kind of randomly crop up like mushrooms. So you've got different sets of that kind of just dotting the landscape as it's kind of out there. It is a binary sun, so it's a twin sun planet, and there are several moons orbiting in the sky as well. And the sky is kind of that kind of off purple, maybe a little bit purplish into blue, maybe a little purplish into actually red, very very pink tone potentially. Kind of as the sun's kind of, as the planet rotates around the suns and the moons rotate around the planet.
Awesome. And you find yourself standing in the capital city of your home nation. Sort of looking around. What's the architecture like for your people?
So the structures are probably they look inspired by Greek and Roman architecture, but everything is like grown crystal. So like every column has this interlaced crystalline structure to it, and the light reflects off of it differently, depending on the direction and the set of crystals that it's going through. So it's very vibrant and very eye-catching, appealing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you get the it's been a while since you've been here, and you get that general peaceful feeling that is so non-present on Earth Prime. There's not that sort of undercurrent of, just individualism and rolling magic. Lafandi is much more serene than Earth Prime is.
Yeah, there's an undertone from the crystals themselves. That the whole planet has this kind of like energy vibe to it that kind of just disperses, and especially as a gem mage, Gemma can really tap in and feel that energy as it just kind of wraps the planet.
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and give me a perception check?
Okay, I can do that. That is a 26 on my perception check.
Perfect. So with the 26, as you're sort of feeling and communing with the universe, feeling that gem magic, that sort of rolling peace, that connectedness, there is an undercurrent. You feel a schism somewhere in the planet, like two gems that have broken apart. And it strikes a very discordant note for you, as you're sort of getting a feel of things. Not to borrow too much from Titan City. As you're getting the sense of it, you feel great strife in the Hall of Gems, this sort of magical school that's responsible for training new gem mages and the like. You get some kind of personal disconnect between yourself and that building at the moment.
Okay. I'll head in that direction. Kind of like just looking around and being like, what? This isn't. I don't know what's going on. This makes no sense.
Yeah, give me an insight check as you're looking around.
Uh, Insight check of 29.
Awesome. So with a 29, as you're sort of making your way to the school, the people on the street seem to be agitated, like on edge, which is something that you're used to seeing on Earth because people are dicks. But here that's abnormal. Usually the people are, a little more serene, a little more in touch with each other and with nature. But everybody seems to be a little, at least ready to jump the gun at folks.
Yeah, something is off. I don't get what's going on. So she'll kind of double her speed and try to get to the school quicker.
Perfect. And as you make your way there, you do see there are a number of gem students outside on the green in front of the college, and there's definitely something going on inside. You can hear an argument taking place between a couple of different voices.
I'll stop and talk to one of the students. What is happening?
Oh, well, there's no easy way to say this, but the Master Mage has lost his connection with the gems.
What?
Yeah, he's lost connection with the Great Unity, and the council is deciding to eject him from the school.
That can't happen. How could one lose the connection?
We don't know. It's just been dark the last few years. And they've given him time to try and restore that balance, but he can't do it.
Thanks. And she'll rush into the college and kind of see what's actually happening. With that, little bit of forewarning.
Yeah, sure enough. You head into the college, and there is this sort of amphitheater where lectures are held generally. And down in the center of the amphitheater, you can see who you know to be the Master Mage of Lafandi. His name is Zodral. And he's this sort of wise old mentor type, dressed in long flowing robes. He's got a samurai bun of white hair and very crystalline features. You've never seen him anything less than serene, but he is pissed. There's a couple of local diplomats, politicians. You're not 100% sure about their position. They could be just members of the school board or something like that. But he's mad, and they say, Zodral, if you aren't able to use gem magic, there's no position for you here. You have a job to focus the magic of our dimension, and you can't do it. We need to find whoever the new Master Mage is and bring them here immediately. And he sort of spits back with this venomous tongue. And he says, I am the Master Mage of Lafandi. No Master Mage has ever been stripped of their title while they're still alive. And I'm still alive, you assholes. And he's kind of like, he takes a knife and he cuts along his arm and he bleeds.
At the Gemma's going to speak up at this point. At the very least, let the man stay. As much knowledge as he has, he can teach.
And they all sort of turn to you. And they all sort of look at you quizzically. They say, what would you know about gem magic.
What do you mean?
You're a military tribunal. There's no reason for you to be here.
What? Look down at her form.
Yeah, and you appear to be dressed in some kind of military uniform. You recognize it as belonging to your uncle.
This makes no sense. At the very least, everyone knows how long he's been a teacher, how long he's been the Master Mage. There's a font of knowledge that you're just tossing away?
And Zodril sort of looks at you and sort of realizes that he has an ally on his side that he wasn't sure of before. He says, "You're right, Acosta. Maybe you should use your authority to make them stay. Make them let me stay."
Me?
Yeah, I mean, if I'm not here to study the what's going on with the gems, who knows what could happen to our planet? I mean, it's dangerous.
I don't think I have a say in the matter.
Not traditionally, but the military does support you.
There's very little of what you would call a military on Lafandi.
Other than what we've been working on, right?
What?
And as you're sort of confused in having this conversation, you do hear an explosion behind you as these living obsidian creatures crash through and start rounding people up, start stabbing people, and start basically attacking the school and overthrowing it.
Look at the Zodril, right?
Yep.
What's going on?
This is like we talked, right? You're here for the coup, right?
Coup?
Yeah.
You're overthrown.
I mean, we're cool, right?
She's gonna like kind of step back and run outside and see what's happening.
Yeah, and more of these living obsidian soldiers, all the way from like foot soldiers up to towering like kaiju-sized monsters, have started attacking the city. And each of them is wearing the family sigil of Gemma's family. What's Gemma's last name? And is it a Lafandi last name or is it an Earth last
Yeah,
name?
it would be a Lafandi last name. I will have to. I will get back to you on that.
Cool. But that house, these obsidian creatures appear to be wearing sigils and pennants of your house. And they seem to be at the service of your father's brother, Acosta.
And that is going to freak her the heck out.
And as you're sort of panicking and watching this military uprising happen, you fade away back into the hallway, standing with everybody else.
If she's standing and she's just kind of hyperventilating as she comes back from wherever the heck it was that she was at.
If you guys look at Centuria, she isn't shaken easily, but she looks like physically ill if you look at her.
And Gemma's just trying to catch her breath and just not able to get out any words, and she is visibly shaking. And she'll I guess she'll probably snap out of it as soon as Centuria does.
Yeah, Centuria is going to sort of like press all of that back because they need to take care of the matter at hand before she can even, get out of the house. She's going to be like, okay, let's keep on going.
What?
We're going to keep going.
Yeah. Especially if it means getting out of this hall. Let's
Yeah.
do what she said. Yeah,
Agree.
let's keep going.
Can we please?
Yeah. Centuria is already like halfway down the hallway.
I don't want to talk about it. I see
Derek,
this is the avoidance party.
Derek, you good? Let's go, man. Let's rock and roll out of here.
Okay.
Let's follow the lady in the cape. She got a plan.
He's gonna
She does not have a plan.
pats on his chest and make sure he's solid.
You are solid, and the soul vault is in place.
When Gemma kind of pulls herself together, she's gonna walk up to Derek, and as he's like the last one still not leaving the room, and she'll just kind of look at him and look down at his hand. Do you need to leave? I mean, there's somebody waiting for you. I don't know what you saw, but I don't know if I can handle what I saw.
Well, I don't know if it was just someone screwing with their heads or if the house was just, being the house or what the hell, but no, I need to see this to an end. Yeah, based on what I saw, I need to know what the hell's going on.
Okay. I'm here for you. And when we're done, I get to meet him, right?
Yeah. I think you'll like him.
Okay. And she'll kind of like she'll put her hand on his shoulder and kind of give him a squeeze. It's kind of like you can tell that it's more for her, like she's drawing more support from you than she's trying to give. And then she's like, okay, let's why did we let Dave go in front of us again?
Because we've never been able to slow his ass down.
Yeah, there it is. Okay. Come on. Then we'll follow after the other two.
Perfect. I'm starting a poll in chat for anybody who wants to play along.
Oh man, I got that.
Oh.
Also, Wicked Ohio Girl wants to remind everybody about what happened to poor Ryu. Ryu. I'm not responsible for that.
Bullpucky or not. The poll that Alex has posted is: has a player been personally victimized by Alex as a player?
Alex Thomas.
I think I should get a vote for every time it's happened.
You can
you
spend
can
channel
vote with
points
hero
to
points.
vote multiple times.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Let me see if I have enough left for that.
Just wait, Will. Just wait.
Oh, I should have put a not yet option. That's good thinking.
Yes, you should have.
I wanted to make that I haven't forgiven him for Rose, but I didn't have enough characters.
All right. Moving on in this house, which is now turned very macabre for most of us.
Yeah, everybody makes your way to the end of the hallway. Still this sort of void around you. Dave's leading the way again, is that correct?
Apparently.
Dave and Centuria.
Can we ever stop him? No, we can't.
Dave, I would like for you to make a perception check, please.
Oh boy. It's no speed, I'll give you that. Here we go. Oh, not deception, perception. 21! Not too shabby
Perfect.
for Dave.
All right. So you're sort of making your way through, and you hear in this sort of jagged, shadowy voice from one of the mirrors as you walk by. Possibilities. So many possibilities.
Does it sound familiar?
It does not, but as you sort of look that way, there's an indistinct figure that's just fleetingly visible in the glass, almost like sunlight hitting the mirror at a weird angle and causing it to warp and distend as it passes from the bottom of the mirror to the other side.
Okay. I'm gonna think real hard that there's nothing in the mirror, in the hopes that, remembering the house is malleable, I can shut that mirror up. Oh, no, no. Just kind of like shaking his head, like, no, it's not happening. Do you want like a will check for that or something, or?
No, you don't need one. You're good. You're okay.
Okay.
You just sort of get down there.
Yeah, so it's kind of visibly like shuddering. No,
Ugh.
no. You're not real. You're not real. Stupid mirrors.
Are you okay, Dave?
Yeah, I'm great. How are you? We should keep moving. We should. Yeah, I don't like this place at all.
Yeah. Let's keep going.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Since Gemma has sort of come up, he will kind of like, there was a thing in the mirror, like a weird, creepy funhouse mirror thing, talking about possibilities. In a creepy, like, van with free candy on the side vibe. Like, it's definitely not good.
Okay.
Just think happy thoughts and don't look at the mirrors. That's what we gotta do. Let's do that.
Right, but possibilities for what?
Well, usually when somebody creepy says that, it means possibilities for bad stuff. So we're not gonna think about that. I can't believe I'm talking about it. I shouldn't talk about it. Nice
Keep
day out.
talking
It's
about
not that
it.
weather.
Tell
Ah!
them. Tell them you can hear me.
I can't. No, I can't hear you, Mirror Man. I can't hear you at all. La la la, la la la.
Can I do a expertise magic check on Dave to see if he's possessed?
Yeah, sure. Everybody check for possession.
Got
That's
a
9/10 of the law.
Oh, he went there.
is a 19.
Out of it.
19. With a 19, as you're sort of getting a feel for Dave's aura, his sort of the vibe around Dave, you
Aha, haha.
the over vibe, you you don't think he's possessed, but you do sense some weird temporal magic in here.
Reminder to hydrate.
Oh, we gotta hydrate? Oh, everybody hydrate. Thank you, Wicked Ohio Girl, for the hydrate.
All right. Something's playing with time here. I think. It's weird.
Am I in earshot to hear that?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that jives.
Tell them, Dave.
Why do you say that?
I got the impression what I was seeing was the future.
Tell them. Tell all of them.
Did you hear that?
I don't. Do any of us hear it besides Dave?
Just Dave.
Okay.
It keeps talking to me. Man, this is freaking me out.
You need to
Yes.
sit down.
Maybe
Just-
we can we start breaking mirrors? Is that a thing? Can we do that? Because
No, you fool! Don't do that.
Oh, it doesn't want me to do that. That means we should.
That could be bad.
Oh.
You are like me.
There's a lot of ambient magic in this place, Dave. I don't think we want to go breaking mirrors.
And that, and a house of magic breaking mirrors and that 7 years of bad luck thing may not be something you might want to risk.
Okay. Well, we gotta get out of this hall. Is there any end in sight? I will race ahead because that's what Overdrive does.
Yeah. So Overdrive, you go racing off ahead, and that sort of blurry figure in the mirrors is keeping pace with you as you're making your way down
freaky.
down the hallway. Wait, slow down.
No, I don't want to hear you.
I'm like you. You have to tell them. We can help you.
I don't trust a creepy guy in a mirror. Pour on the speed.
You can't even see me.
But I can hear you. That's bad. Yeah, Billy's got a point. He called me fool, so that means he's a villain.
Well, maybe you are a fool.
Maybe, and maybe you're a villain. Where's the freaking end of this hall?
Who's the fool? The one who follows him?
Well, you're following me, so there. Ha ha.
And, Dave, you get to the end of the hallway, and you find yourself sitting in a semicircle of mirrors.
No, no. Is there a door at the end of the hallway?
There is not a door at the end of the hallway.
Oh.
You reach a semicircle of large mirrors. These mirrors are bigger than the other ones.
Oh, great.
And as you're looking through them, each reveal different versions of the corridor outside.
No.
So looking through the mirrors, you can see the hallway that you originally came out of.
Oh, this is making my head hurt.
Please give me a perception check, Dave.
That's a 27, a critical perception.
Wow. Look at the big brain on Dave.
Big brain!
So, Dave, as you're sort of looking in these different hallways, you catch additional mirrors that you can see into, and you can see the activities within. You can see in one mirror there is, you see yourself and you see Mortis along with some heroes that you don't recognize, banding together to fight an army of Arctic Fox robots.
No! No. I looked at the hall. How far away are they? I was running for a little while. Hurry! Hurry! It's worse.
I feel a disturbance in the Fox Force.
The Fox Force 5.
No!
You see in another hallway, there is there's this collection of heroes that you don't recognize that are. You see a woman all in blue armor who's flying around, freezing things. You see a woman, sort of a white and black jumpsuit, who's got her head up, and she seems to be like telekinetically lifting some unconscious guy around and beating people with them. There's a cowboy with them, and there's a woman who's throwing golden bracelets around. A couple extra hallways, you see the Freedom League are facing down against... the Freedom League is facing off against Omega. Yeah, just a lot of weird events.
I like that the poll winner is I haven't forgiven him. At
With
59%.
16 votes. Yes got 6 votes, no got 3 votes, and maybe got 2 votes.
Whoever said no, y'all are lucky.
I should have switched no for not yet, because everyone gets it eventually. Everybody gets one. I'm like Spider-Man, but worse.
Why have I gotten like 3 then?
You keep
I
coming
got
back.
my one at the beginning.
You keep coming back. Hey! Win with Dice voted maybe, but also yes, just in case. Win with Dice gets it. Tune in for Wasteland Wednesday to see how I hurt those poor heroes.
No. Stop it.
I'll just remind everybody, is Gemma a synth?
Oh gosh, no.
Wow.
Not a sin.
Anyway, that's Wednesday's problem.
Zoinks.
Pugsley was Wednesday's problem.
That's true. So, do the rest of us catch up to Overdrive after a certain amount of time?
20
Yes.
minutes.
He's like sort of jumping up like, hurry, hurry, it's worse. We gotta get out of here. Let's go. Come on.
I wonder if this is going to be like the library.
It's already worse than the library.
The library wanted us to spend time with it. This place shunted us into some sort of vision that I'm still not over yet. She kind of rubs her arms with her hands.
Yeah, and I get that. But I think it may not let us go until it makes us face our fears.
You mean
Just
it's
to get-
in already?
There's lots of ways for life to screw you. Um, I don't know. It's just a guess, but
Well, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's happened since we kind of all went our separate ways. And still, and she'll look at Dave and she'll look at Derek with kind of like those kind of sad eyes. It's like I'm sorry that I left and I didn't talk to you guys about it. I couldn't handle it anymore, and I should have stuck around. I should have talked to you, but just there was just so much. I needed to get away, and I couldn't go home, and I didn't know what to do without Seven here, and just everything was so. I got overwhelmed. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, if we're pointing fingers, you stayed the closest. I mean, we all kind of let it fall apart.
That's right, you ran away.
Shut up! Do you guys not hear that? Oh, man. Ugh.
Tell them I can help.
It says it can help. I don't trust it.
And sure, like walk up to the mirrors while they're having their talk and like start investigating the mirrors.
Awesome. Please give me an investigation check. What did you get?
Okay, well that time I got a 16, so not much better.
And that's a 12 on the dice. Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah.
So with a 16, as you're looking at them, based on what you know about this house, you think if you go through the wrong mirror, you'll probably wind up in an alternate dimension or some other timeline or something strange like that. You're not really sure which one is the correct one. You also don't see the blurry figure that seems to be bothering Overdrive.
Right. And your imaginary mind thing tell us what mirror to go through?
That means we gotta trust it.
Yes, tell her I can. Yes.
It says it can tell us which mirror to go through.
Well, we can at least ask him and then decide if that's what we go through.
Okay. Mirror Man, which one should we go through?
Pluck any mirror. March through any mirror. I'll guide you home.
Oh. Just touch any mirror.
No, pick it up.
Pick it up.
Yes, pick up any mirror and walk through any other mirror.
Oh,
Glimpse will guide you home.
okay. It says his name is Glimpse, and if we pick up one of the mirrors and walk through any other mirror, he can guide us home.
Do we all have to pick up a mirror?
No,
Do we
no,
all?
No, one mirror together.
Just one mirror, and then we all walk through a mirror together with the person carrying a mirror.
That sounds sketchy.
What does
What have I been saying?
what does Glimpse get out of this if we do this?
What do you get out of this,
Free.
Glimpse? What?
Free.
Free?
Glimpse is a free elf.
we're an atomic spirit.
Free. Free to go where?
Anywhere but here.
Oh.
This is heinous to my kind.
Ask him how this will free him.
How's this gonna free you?
I'll be out.
I have one job on this ship. It's stupid, but I'm going to do it.
I'll be back in the real.
Oh, I don't. Oh, see, Guys, he says he'll be back in the real. I don't know if that's good for the real. Like this guy, I get vibes that this is so creepy. I don't. I mean, not that being here is pleasant, but I don't. Are we
You
causing
roll
more
like
problems?
an insight check to see if we should.
Alex,
Mm-hmm.
well, they're all rambling about that. Earlier, I sensed that the house was hungry and kind of like I can get some vibes off the house. I'm gonna quietly to myself say, Neri and Nexus, which way do we go?
So I would like two things to happen. I would like for Kat to roll her insight check, and I would like for Jonesy to roll a perception check.
Jonesy got a 25
Awesome.
because he's gonna talk to them now. I mean,
Hmm.
the Neri and Nexus.
With a 9, especially not being able to hear it, Centuria, you're not 100% sure if it's trustworthy.
Oh no, that's a 19 because she used a hero point to reroll.
Oh. Well, in that case, with the 19, you think that this creature is being sincere, but you also get the sensation that it is intrinsically capricious.
Oh, it's a fae.
But Mortis with a natural 20 on your perception check, as you ask the house that, you notice there is no reaction from the house. But since you got a critical, you also get the impression that this space might exist outside the house. You do notice in all of the mirrors in front of you, when you say Nerian Nexus, what's the way to go? All of them sort of invite you forward. You get the sensation that each of those Nerian Nexuses is reacting to that. You think that this white space,
Spaces in between.
yeah, you're sort of getting the feeling that this is maybe like a backstage area of the Nexus, a sort of conduit that links, the communications and the scrying mirrors scattered throughout the whole house. And you think that essentially this is almost like a crawl space in reality that you all have trapped yourselves in. Or I have trapped you in, however you want to word it.
Yeah. Remember what the poll said.
I have not
Victimized by
forgiven him.
Alex.
Yeah. We're screwed. We're not in the house anymore. I'm gonna look at residents here. We're not in the house anymore. I think we're elsewhere. Like capital E elsewhere. Like the spaces in between.
Yes, this is the fake. Tell him it's the fake.
Glimp says it's the fake.
I want to go back to the real.
We
Wait,
slipped. We slipped between realities. Oh, that's not good.
I think it's I think it's how the house circumvents barriers and walls between worlds. We slipped in the cracks in the spaces in between.
Okay.
This is where elder things live. We should probably get out.
Yeah.
I'm not even
Dave-
sure what that means, but we should definitely get out.
Yeah, Dave, we're gonna probably have to trust Glimpse, but Glimpse, if you can hear me,
He
when
hears
you
you
get
fine.
back to the real, no harm befalls us or anyone we care about because you're free. Is that agreed?
I don't want to hurt anybody. I just want out.
He says he doesn't want to hurt anybody. He just wants out.
I want him to agree.
Glimpse, they want you to agree. Not just dance around it, but to say you're not going to do it.
I agree.
Okay.
Says he agrees.
Then let's before something else, capital E, sees us. Let's get out of
It's
here.
Capitals. Like
Uh,
fifth grade social studies all over again.
Just because you had to repeat it twice.
Hey, that hurts.
Oof.
All right. So who wants to pick up the mirror and lead us home?
Dave.
I mean, these are big mirrors, right?
Yes, they are.
Okay. Like one of these
Victoria
full-size
can do that for
Victoria. Okay. I was gonna say. I don't want to embarrass myself.
It weighs a lot less than 320,000 tons.
Yeah. I think she's got this.
She balances on her pinky. What?
Don't you guys all have to like hold on to it with me though?
I think we just have to follow
You
you.
just have to follow you. Walk like whatever mirror you walk through, carrying the other mirror.
She casual strength the Eiffel Tower.
Alright. Anybody have a favorite mirror that they want me to walk through?
One that doesn't look like it's got death and destruction behind it, please.
Yeah.
Do any of them look like they have death and destruction behind it, Alex? Or any of them
Not
not
the one
look
with
like it?
Not the one with the Arctic Fox army of robots.
One-
I don't know. I want to avoid the cowboy if at all possible.
You and me
I'm
both.
gonna go through whichever one looks the happiest.
Awesome. So you, all of you holding onto the mirror, pass through another mirror. And as it happens, there's a, that mirror that you're carrying, Centuria, shatters, breaking into 4 fragments. And, all of you feel this great stretching sensation, and each of you is deposited, roughly on the ground outside of the mirror. You land flat on this area of space where this almost shag carpet breaks into like a marbling, like a marble cobblestone. And you're gonna look up and look around, and you seem to be back in the Nerian Nexus. And standing in front of you is an oddly angled humanoid silhouette composed of flickering colors that appears to be two-dimensional. It sort of waves over the 4 broken mirror shards and says, "Use these once. Show truth to self, then show truth to another." And he dissolves into light motes, scattering across every surface before vanishing without a trace.
We all saw him that time, right?
You all saw him that time.
That was Glimpse.
That was... I'm not even going to say strange because I've seen a lot of strange today. Gemma will pick up one of the glass shards, and noticing the rip in her dress from falling back through, she's going to just kind of tear off a strip and wrap the shard in that and then put it in her pocket.
Awesome.
Oh, my costume don't have pockets.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, oh no, where am I gonna put it?
It's like my entire wardrobe is dresses with pockets and pants with pockets that are actual pockets and not just partial pockets.
Somebody needs to call Edna Mode and be like, you need to put pockets in every single costume. The way you feel
No
about
pockets.
capes, feel the opposite about pockets.
No pockets.
Now I understand Image Comics in the 90s. Those pouches did serve a purpose.
Oh no.
Keys, wallet, beeper.
Cell phone the size of a, brick.
Somebody call Rob Liefeld, tell me he wasn't a complete idiot.
Okay, don't go that far. Don't go that far.
Oh.
He's got that, Deadpool, and Deathstroke. And I assume not even Deathstroke. I don't even think that's one of his.
No.
No.
That was George Perez
Yeah, that's right.
and Marv Wolfman. Yeah.
And Deadpool was a bad carbon copy of it.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, yes. And as Jupe reminds us,
Cable.
Cable.
Cable's his other claim.
Oh, Cable's good. Okay, Cable's fine.
I don't know. I like Satellite.
Hmm.
Ba-dum-bum. This is why I'm not a comedian.
Boo.
So, I am Mortis is going to reach out and his ghostly grab is going to pick up a shard and bring it to him.
I'll just assume the gloves of my costume will be enough to protect me from cuts and pick up the shard.
Guess I'll just pick mine up too.
Glass, the only thing to break your impervious toughness.
And it's like,
Ow, shit.
But it's magic glass. It's magic glass.
True. Okay. So what do we do now, Alex?
Yeah. What do you
Just
do now?
Look into the piece of glass. I mean, I guess I'm showing myself the truth. Like, maybe.
Oh.
So looking into the glass overdrive, you sort of gaze into it for a moment. You see your reflection, and your reflection like fractures into basically an infinite number of yourselves. You see some of them where your powers are different, some of them where your costume is vastly different. A couple of them you're not even human, you're an android, or you're an angel, or you're a vampire. All sorts of wild, different versions of yourself from across the multiverse.
Wow.
If you want to give me, do you have an expertise multiverse skill?
I think
Expertise science?
I think I can spend a hero point to get that. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, you could use beginner's luck on it if you want to.
Yeah, so that gives me a +5, yes? Right? Beginner's
Yes,
luck? Or does
yeah.
that just let you do it?
Beginner's luck gives you 5 ranks in the skill for free.
Sweet. Alright, and that is...
Well, not for free, it costs a hero point, but...
Yeah, it's not for free. But fortunately, so that would be... Oh, well, it's just a +5 then, because I ain't got no int bonus. So that's a 20 with the beginner's luck bonus. That's a 20.
Yeah, so looking at this, with a 20 on your expertise science check, you think that this shard, you're not sure how it does this, but you think it has the ability to make unpredictable and temporary changes to your character. You'll trigger a random instantaneous transformation, or you think if you study it for longer, you could sort of merge yourself with an alternate version of yourself from a parallel timeline, which would give you the ability to rebuild your character as you like, so long as you keep the same number of power points and maintain at least a few common threads, such as your secret identity or power source. Essentially transforming into an alternate version of yourself.
That's a little scary.
It's a respec shard.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Wow.
Might want to hold on to that for a bit and see if I can't plume its depths for what the consequences might be. So,
Yeah.
do we want to... There should still be more further in, right? We've still got to stop the villains from getting the Atlas.
I mean,
Yeah.
we're back in the house now, right? So maybe we can find our way to the Atlas now,
Hopefully.
hopefully.
Yeah, looking down the hallway where you are standing, you see where the carpet meets the marble. At the end of that hallway, there is a series of wide bronze doors, like a wide bronze double door.
Okay. Gem is gonna kind of dust herself off again and then head towards the door and just kind of stand there looking at it, like, and then look back at the rest of the group. Are we ready for anything?
It's as ready as we're gonna ever be.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Shift my form into a ghost form and fly up to the door.
Do you want to stick your head through first?
I'm gonna tap it with my fingers to see if I can. 'Cause who knows with this house if I can or not.
True.
But I'm gonna fly up to the door and kind of in my ghostly form try to reach through the doorway.
You are able to reach through the doorway.
And then with that, I will peek through.
And as Mortis peeks his head through the door, we're going to go ahead and take our short little break.
No.
Commercials are on the other side. Commercials are on the other side. That's what's on the other side of the door.
Please stand by. No!
It's buffering.
Not the buffering.
Disney Plus made me hate the phrase, please stand by.
All right.
No WandaVision spoilers, but they knew how to end every episode. All right, I'm going to put us to break. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes. Everybody please get up, stretch, get some water, have a snack, and we will see you back in just a little bit. So see if I can add some victims to my list of PCs I've victimized.